And typically, I would give a midterm address today, a State of the City address, in which I talk about things that we worked on this year, some of the successes, some of the challenges, and talk about the goals for the upcoming year, 2021. But I'm going to hold off on that at this time. I just don't think it's appropriate, considering everything that we are all going through. And I think the focus continues to need to remain on COVID and the city's work to help our residents. So, Councilor Manning Martin, if I could maybe at the end just say a few words before we break at the end of the meeting, but I just wanted to let everybody know what my intention was this evening.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. Thank you, Mayor. Next, I would like to introduce for our invocation Father John McGinnis, the pastor of both St. John the Baptist and St. Thomas the Apostle Parish of Peabody. Father John?
Yes, thank you. Good evening to all of you. And let us be together in a moment of prayer. We turn to you, O God of every people and nation, and we pray your blessing upon us. You who are the origin and ruler of time, give us and all people a year of healing and hope. We need your light in this time of darkness and cold. Bless our city and all who serve it with wisdom and integrity, those who are elected and appointed to be the stewards of the resources we have for the well-being of all who live here. Bless with your protection those who keep us safe, our police officers, firefighters, and first responders, and in a special way, give your strength to all who care for us, doctors and nurses, and all who in this time of pandemic are working to restore health to the sick and bring to an end the suffering and death that has come from COVID-19. Lord, bless our nation in this difficult moment of transition. Guide every effort to overcome division and rancor and to build unity and harmony among all who call this country their home, the rich and the poor, the young and the old, those who have lived here for generations, and those who only recently arrived. Keep alive in our leaders and all citizens a clear vision of America, a vision of respect for every human life, a vision of liberty and justice for all. We lift up to you, O gracious Lord, the prayers of all our communities of faith, the men and women who nurture the spiritual lives of our neighbors, and all who turn to you in need. And finally, may the work of each and every one of us this year contribute to the upbuilding of all. May we be that city built upon a hill whose light shines forth with goodness and compassion. And may what we say and what we do give praise and glory to you and to your holy name, now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Father McGinnis. And in about 10 seconds, we will enjoy a music selection of the Star Spangled Banner, the official version by PVMHS Full House a cappella, directed by John Simmons and previously recorded on the steps of City Hall on December 23rd, 2020.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket
Thank you, that was lovely. If you could all remain standing and join me in a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And the first and only order of business this evening is to elect our next City Council President for the year 2021. Councilor Melville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to nominate Ward 6 Councilor Mark O'Neill for Peabody City Council President for 2021. Councilor O'Neill has represented Ward 6 since 2018 and proved to be a prepared and knowledgeable colleague over the past 3 years. Mark is a lifelong Peabody resident and has a wonderful family with his wife Tracy, 2 children, Caroline and Joseph. I was fortunate to have met Mark's late mother during the 2017 campaign when both Mark and I were running for the City Council, and I can assure you that she'd be very excited to know that Mark was nominated and would serve as the Council President. And Mark, I believe that she would have been your toughest constituent based on my experiences with her. Wonderful woman. I have no doubt that Councilor O'Neill will discharge the duties of Council President in these trying times with the necessary skill and fortitude to ensure Peabody residents are well represented in 2021. I am proud to nominate my colleague and friend, Ward 6 Councilor Mark O'Neill, for President of the City Council for 2021. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Melville. Are there any other nominations for City Council President? Being none, we'll have a roll call on that motion, and you will vote this evening by name, Mark O'Neill.
Councilors Charist,
Mark O'Neill.
Gould,
Mark O'Neill.
Manning Martin,
Mark O'Neill.
McGinn,
Mark J. O'Neill.
Melville,
Mark O'Neill.
Mitsoulas,
Mark O'Neill.
O'Neill,
Present.
Rosignol,
Mark J. O'Neill.
Sasla,
Mark O'Neill.
Turco,
Mark O'Neill.
Welton.
Mark O'Neill.
Mark O'Neill, elected as City Council President for the year 2021, carried 10-0.
Good evening. Before I begin my remarks, I'd like to take a moment and thank Councilor Tom Rosignol for his work as Council President in 2020. While faced with challenges during his term, he met all of them with his characteristic positive attitude and good humor. Thank you for your leadership over the past 12 months, as well as your continued service to this city. We have a gift from the council and clerk's office as a small appreciation for your efforts, which I'll place over here so you can pick it up after the ceremony. At this time, I'd like to ask Councilor Rosignol to address this council.
Thank you very much, Councilor O'Neill. I appreciate those kind words. Hello and welcome to the Wiggins Auditorium for the reorganizational meeting of the City Council for 2021. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Father John for zooming in an amazing blessing, and for Mr. Simmons and the Peabody High School students for the Star-Spangled Banner, an outstanding job. Under normal circumstances, we, the City Council, would have been ushered into the Wiggins. There'd be family and friends in attendance. There would be city officials, state dignitaries. We'd have the police, fire, and veterans organizations honor guard in attendance. The mayor would be giving the State of the City address, and we'd be celebrating a new year for 2021. Thinking back to our last year's inauguration of 2020, the council elected me, Tom Rosignol, council president, and it was with a solemn note because at the end of 2019, we had the passing of high school assistant principal Mrs. Maniatis, as well as the passing of Superintendent Ms. Kara Murtag. We were trying to heal and overcome and looking forward to a better and brighter 2020. We started off the year in great fashion with the swearing in of new city clerk, Miss Allison Danforth. Little did she know what she was getting herself into in the year 2020. We as the city council were off and running and geared up for a prosperous year ahead. Then in late February, everything changed. A global pandemic rocked our entire world as we know it, a time in our life to which none of us has ever seen. I want to thank the council members that were so amendable, flexible, and willing to adapt to such drastic changes of doing business. We as a council knew that we needed to continue to do the city's business. We needed to continue to work hard for the residents of Peabody to the best of our ability through these trying times. And on the fly, we were able to adopt a brand new Zoom format to conduct the city's business so that the residents and individuals and businesses alike could strive in 2020. One of the things I'm most proud of is throughout this pandemic, the ability for the council to adapt and change for the greater good. We came together to streamline restaurants' abilities to have outdoor seating to make their businesses viable and to keep patrons safe and helping keep small businesses as vibrant as possible. Throughout this pandemic, I would be remiss if I did not recognize the efforts of Sharon Cameron, Brenda Wolf, and the entire Peabody Health Department for going above and beyond throughout this year, making sure the residents of Peabody are as safe as possible. As we conclude 2020, it's been amazing to see our community pull together to try to work towards the common good, neighbors helping neighbors and families adapting to a new way of staying together through such trying times. In conclusion, as we wrap up 2020, I'm hopeful for a brighter tomorrow. As a frontline worker and healthcare provider, I've received my first vaccination for COVID, and I'm hopeful that this is the beginning of our way out of this pandemic and to get back to a more normal, prosperous society. Again, I want to thank the council for helping me navigate through a difficult, challenging, and unprecedented 2020. I want to thank my wife, Robin, my daughters, Amanda and Christina, my family, and my friends for standing by me through these trying times. And I want to again thank the Mayor's Office, Sharon Cameron, and Allison Danforth for helping us through 2020. A greater future and better tomorrow lies ahead for our great city of Peabody. I look forward to a great and prosperous 2021 under the leadership of newly elected Council President, Mr. Mark O'Neill. May God bless each and every one of you and love to all for a better, brighter, and happier 2021. Thank you. Councilor O'Neill.
Still clap.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rosendahl. Without a doubt, I have huge shoes to fill. Thank you all for taking the time to take part in tonight's ceremony, and a special welcome to those watching at home. Although the ceremony will be very different from past years, as Councilor Rosendahl noted, and lacking its traditional pomp and pageantry, this smaller yet important ceremony is further evidence of your city's leaders coming together to continue their work for Peabody's residents. Thank you, Father McInnes, for your invocation and comforting words. It's always a pleasure to hear Peabody High School's a cappella group Full House under the direction of John Simmons. Thank you for helping us celebrate this occasion. I'm pleased to see our Honorable Mayor Ted Betancourt with us here tonight. We're all happy to see you and glad that you are feeling much better. Councilor Ryan Melville and I first met in the summer of 2017. He's been a great friend to me and an outstanding city councilor since joining this body. Thank you very much for your kind words and nominating me as council president. To all of my fellow councilors, thank you for electing me as your next president. I'm honored by your faith in me, and I pledge to work with all of you in our mutual efforts to help our city. There are a number of people that I want to thank and recognize this evening. First, I want to thank my family for their love and support. My wife, Tracy, and our children, Caroline and Joseph, keep me grounded and remind me daily that I am very fortunate. The presence of Tracy's mom, Linda, in our lives is also a blessing. Thank you to our police and fire departments for their continuous hard work to keep us safe day in and day out. I also want to recognize our health department, led by its director, Sharon Cameron, and our city's nurses for their tireless efforts to keep our residents safe against a relentless enemy known as the coronavirus. I also want to thank our school administrators, teachers, aides, and maintenance staff for their work. Thank you to City Clerk Allison Danforth and her staff for all their work in her first year. She was faced with working in a pandemic, a challenging election cycle, and yet still delivered a fair and open election process for all. Job well done. We're fortunate to have a dedicated group of city employees helping our residents with all types of requests, including those providing meals to our senior citizens and services to our veterans. Thank you all. Lastly, I want to thank the residents of Ward 6 for giving me the privilege and honor to represent them on this council. I love being your ward counselor, which allows me to give back to the city, which has given so much to my family and me. As we enter the early days of this new year, the loss of both family and friends, by many since March, remain fresh in our hearts and minds. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence now and recognize all those who we have lost. Thank you. While it is expected that we'll still face significant challenges from the coronavirus over the next several months, our nation and our city look forward to celebrating brighter days ahead. My siblings and I were lucky to be raised here by our late parents, Marty and Jackie O'Neill. Peabody continues to be called home for multiple generations of families, as well as being a welcoming destination for many new families. Peabody's neighborhoods, small and large businesses, parks and recreation areas, and its people all tie the fabric together that make our city a great community. There is always work for us to do and challenges that we must meet. I look forward to working alongside my fellow councilors, Mayor Betancourt, school committee members, State Senator Joan Lovely, as well as State Representatives Tom Walsh and Sally Currens, and other elected officials in these efforts. As the City Council looks towards a new year, I ask that each councilor approach our work with a shared vision. Number one, keep an open mind while listening to residents and each other. Number two, share your opinions. Number three, debate with passion, but with mutual respect for everyone. In closing, thank you for this honor this evening. The first order of business will be City Council seating assignments, and I now turn the meeting over to City Clerk Allison Danforth.
We will be drawing seat positions for 2021. I will draw by alphabetical order.
This is not the time.
Councilor Charist, number 5. Councilor Gould, number 1. Councilor Manning, number 2. Councilor McGinn, number 6. Councilor Melville, number 10. Councilor Moussoulis, number 7. Councilor Rossignol, number 9. Councilor Sasslaw, number 3. Councilor Turco, number 8. And Councilor Welton, number 4.
Thank you, Allison. The next order of business will be motions, orders, and resolutions. Are there any motions, orders, and resolutions?
Mr. President.
Councilor Gould?
Thank you, Mr. President. State Representative Spiliotis' last day in the State House is tomorrow. And if it's the will of the council, I'd like to send a congratulatory letter on his 40-some-odd years of service from us, the City Council, and wish him a very healthy and happy retirement. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. You've heard the motion. Roll call vote.
Councilors Charist,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, McGinn,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Allison, if I may, could you put that together from the entire council and yourself, please?
Yes, Counselor.
Thank you.
Are there any other motions, orders, or resolutions?
Yes.
Seeing none, we'll move on to remarks by our Honorable Mayor, Edward A. Betancourt, Jr.
Great, thank you, Mr. President. And I thought your words and Councilor Rosignol's words were outstanding and right on point. Thank you for that. And I thought the motion by Councilor Gould was outstanding. Ted Spiliotis has been a wonderful representative and has done so many great things for the city of Peabody. And he's been a part of just so many important things that have taken place in our city. So that was very well stated and deserved. As I mentioned earlier, this is certainly not a typical year, and typically, as been stated, we would be celebrating right now, celebrating new elected officials or just where we are as a community. It's an opportunity to give an update, to talk about the successes we had in the past year, talk about some of the challenges we're facing, and to speak about goals for the upcoming year. I always look at it as a time of celebration and always try to be upbeat and very excited about the future. And I think just right now, where things stand, I just don't think it's appropriate. And I think the focus needs to remain on COVID and what we're doing as a community to help our residents. So what I would propose, and I'd like to work with President O'Neill, our city clerk, Allison Danforth, and the city council to come up with a day, maybe in the spring, March or April, when hopefully we're at a better place in the world and a better place in Peabody, and have a state of the city and have some sort of event at that time if possible. And so that's what I'll be requesting it and moving forward with. I did want to take just a couple of minutes to thank some people, and already some have been recognized, but I wanted to take just a moment to really thank those that are working for the city of Peabody. We've been very fortunate to have tremendous leadership in our departments that have really gone above and beyond during these difficult days. First and foremost is Sharon Cameron, our health department, our health team, our nurses, who've just been rock stars for us and just done tremendous things during these difficult days. They're working way above 8 hours a day. The amount of time and effort and energy they put in, and always with a great deal of heart and compassion, oftentimes delivering very difficult news. We're very fortunate to have such caring people like Sharon Cameron and Brenda Wolf and others that are doing that tough work for us. Our police and fire have been experiencing challenges like they've never experienced before, right in the front lines, and we're certainly forever grateful for their work. Our teachers, and I've said many times that it's never been more difficult to be a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter. Right now, this past year, all the challenges have been presented, and we owe all of them a great debt of gratitude and appreciation. I know we all feel the same way. But our teachers during this challenging year, trying to keep our students in school, trying to keep our students focused on their education and the tasks at hand has been extremely difficult. All of us have families, and we know the difficulty that many of our family members, particularly young people, are facing, and our teachers more than ever are not just doing work of education, it's much deeper than that. Our administrators, our nurses at the schools, Our custodians, really, I've said a couple times that they're the unsung heroes, the work they're putting forward in very distressing situations. And our cafeteria workers, another group of unsung heroes that are doing important work for families, for our residents. I wanted to thank our DPW department, led by Bob Labossiere. In the middle of COVID and everything we've been dealing with this year, we've had the biggest infrastructure project we've ever done as a city, our water improvement infrastructure project, which has really torn up our city, really created a great deal of difficulties for our residents. Water, sewer, and our DPW department has done a terrific job during an extremely difficult year. Next year looks brighter. We'll be doing a lot of paving across the city, but this was a year we tore up a lot of roads and replaced piping and replaced aging infrastructure that need to be done. And our DPW department just did an outstanding job during that period of time. I wanted to give a special thank you to Beth O'Donnell, our Human Resources Director, Kathy Trombley, Kelly Bloom from the Human Resources Department. We have almost 1,500 employees in the city, and all of them and have had family issues, personal issues during this difficult year, and they've done a tremendous job navigating and assisting our employees through some difficult moments. Again, kind of a group of unsung heroes, I think. Our City Hall operations have continued, even though we've been shorthanded. All departments have been shorthanded. We're continuing our finance work, certainly paying bills, taking care of insurance claims, all the work that takes place to make sure our government is functioning properly. Our IT department, as we've now had to adjust to having everything remote through social media and things of that nature, our IT department has been outstanding for us over this last year. Our community development office, our building inspector's office, our veterans offices, just been tremendous in helping people through their difficult moments. Again, all of these offices have been shorthanded, and we're doing the very best we can. Our clerk's office has had a challenging year, as you can imagine, with the election and with COVID, and Allison has done a tremendous job in her first year. Very fortunate to have her leadership. Even our departments, our library, still performing important work for our residents, getting information and programs and reading material to our residents. None of our offices are closed. Everything is still functioning as best we can, even though the library is shorthanded, as all of our departments are. Our Park and Recreation department, our farms are still open and operating. We've been able to have a great deal of programs for families, for our children. Our golf course is functioning, and they've had a terrific year, which is wonderful. Our Council on Aging, led by our excellent director, Carolyn Wynn, is transporting our seniors to their medical appointments and some other necessary things, providing meals. And we even have groups of volunteers that are just calling to check on our seniors at home to make sure everybody is doing okay and to just be a friendly voice. Great work continues to take place there. And I want to thank the City Council. I want to thank the school committee, again, for your work and commitment during these difficult year. Tom Rosignol, you did an outstanding job as president. You were the right person for this particular time. Again, your upbeat attitude, your commitment to the city. I know there were many things that you were hoping to move forward with that got put on hold, but you were the right person at this particular moment to help us through this difficult time. And I wanted to thank you and congratulate you on a job well done as president. I wanted to give a special thank you to Darrell Ann McCarthy and Chris Ryder from my office. We've been shorthanded as well. We've been down a person, and both of you, Darrell and Chris, have just done an outstanding job helping me, particularly the last month, and really stepped up and performed in an extraordinary manner. And I wanted to thank the two of you. Really just thank you to everybody. It's certainly been, as been stated, this has been unlike anything we've ever experienced before. Our world has been upended in countless ways. The many, many challenges, and all of our departments are working shorthanded. Every day our department is faced with a new challenge, and we've really worked extremely well together to try to do the very best we can by our residents to provide those services that needed to be done. It's far from perfect. There have been times that we've struggled, but I think all of us should be very proud of the people working for the city. I know I am, and I want to make a special thank you to them. Just real quick before I say goodbye, I just want to thank the residents across the city of Peabody. It's obviously been a very difficult month for me personally, and I've just been extremely touched by the well wishes and many messages that I've received from people across the city, many that I don't know. It meant a lot to me to have those messages sent, and thankfully I'm doing extremely well. My family is healthy, importantly and thankfully. Everybody's doing well over here. I returned back to work today. I'll be working full time, needing to catch up. I'll be reaching out to many of you. I appreciate everybody's patience and thoughtfulness during this difficult time for my family and I. And it really does make you think, put things in perspective and think about things. And it's family, it's friends, it's a job I love. Those are the important things. And I'm very fortunate to be working with all of you and moving forward in 2021, which I think is going to continue to be a challenge, but I think there's some brighter days and better days ahead. And I look forward to taking these challenges on with all of you. So thank you. I'll work with Councilor O'Neill, as I said, and Allison Danforth to come up with a plan for the future, to give more of a state of the city and talk about things that are upcoming. But I really want to just take a moment to really recognize and show my respect and appreciation. I know I speak for all of us for the work that's taking place in the city. It's just been wonderful to see. And again, thank you for those kind well wishes and warm words from so many across the city to my family and I. So thank you, President O'Neill. I look forward to working with you. Congratulations on being named the president this year. It's a great honor. And I think you are going to be in a great position, and you're the right person for this time coming up as well. So I look forward to working with all of you in the days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Betancourt, for your remarks as well as your leadership. If I could ask the council's forgiveness, as an older man trying to read my own typing, I neglected to take a moment and thank Peabody Access Television, and especially Jim Palmer and his team, who allow our residents to both view and participate in their city's government on a regular basis. So thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
You've heard the motion from Councilor Manning Martin. Roll call vote.
Councilors Charist,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes?
McGinn,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, Father John.